Hello, it's great to have you here. This summary is designed to be a comprehensive, hour-long deep dive into Ali Abdaal's Feel Good Productivity. Before we dive into the wisdom, I have a big favor to ask. If my channel has helped you or provided value, please like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to press the bell icon to get notifications so you never miss a deep dive. Now let's get into the summary of Feel Good Productivity about the author. Ali Abdaal. Ali Abdaal started his journey as a medical student at Cambridge University. During his time as a junior doctor in the UK's National Health Service, NHS, he became obsessed with productivity. However, he noticed a toxic trend. The more he followed traditional hustle advice, working harder, sleeping less, grinding through pain, the more miserable he became. He realized that the secret to the world's most successful people wasn't that they had more discipline, but that they found a way to make the process enjoyable. This led to the Feel Good Productivity philosophy. He is now one of the world's leading creators, teaching millions how to achieve more by doing more of what makes them happy. Chapter 1, Play. In this foundational chapter, Ali challenges the to-do list culture. Most of us treat work as a serious, heavy burden. Ali argues that this seriousness triggers our physiological stress response, which actually shuts down the creative centers of our brain. The science of play. Ali introduces the broaden and build theory by psychologist Barbara Fredrickson. This theory suggests that positive emotions, like joy and playfulness, broaden our awareness and encourage novel, varied, and exploratory thoughts and actions. Over time, this builds skills and resources. When we are stressed, our vision narrows, fight or flight. When we play, our vision expands. The three pillar strategies of play. 1, the adventure mindset. Stop seeing tasks as work and start seeing them as quests. If you are writing a report, you aren't just typing. You are an explorer documenting a new discovery. 2, the power of side quests. Ali suggests adding gamification to boring tasks. Can you finish this email in 2 minutes? Can you do this filing while listening to your favorite soundtrack to make it feel like a movie montage? 3, lowering the stakes. We often fail to start because we are scared of the outcome. Play is inherently low stakes. When children play, they don't worry about ROI, return on investment. By telling yourself, I'm just playing around with this draft, you remove the paralysis of perfectionism. The video game analogy. Ali compares productivity to a video game. In a game, if you fail a level, you don't get depressed. You just restart and try a different strategy. If we treat our careers and projects with this respawn mentality, we become fearless. What I have learned, disclaimer. These what I have learned sections are my personal syntheses of the core lessons provided in each chapter to help you apply them immediately to your life. From this chapter, I have learned that happiness is a lead indicator of success, not a result of it. For years, I thought I would be happy once I was productive. Ali flipped this on its head. I will be productive if I am happy. I learned that I need to stop being so serious about my goals. By injecting a sense of curiosity and play, I can lower my cortisol levels. This makes me more likely to stay at my desk longer because I'm actually enjoying the process. I've started asking myself, what would this look like if it were fun? This single question has changed how I approach my morning routine and my most difficult work tasks. Chapter 2, Power, the Deep Dive. This chapter focuses on self-efficacy, the belief that we have the capacity to execute behaviors necessary to produce specific performance attainments. The concept of personal agency. When we feel like cogs in a machine, our productivity plummets. Ali discusses studies showing that even in high-stress jobs, workers who have a sense of control over their schedule or methods are significantly less likely to burn out. The 3 power boosters. 1, the decider. Whenever you feel forced to do something, find one small element you can control. You might have to attend a meeting, but you can decide where you sit or how you take notes. 2, the confidence builder. Power comes from competence. Ali suggests the power move of learning a small sub-skill related to your work. If you're a writer, learning a few keyboard shortcuts makes you feel more powerful over your tools. 3, the ownership effect. When we take extreme ownership, a term often used by Jocko Willink, whom Ali references, we stop being victims of our circumstances. What I have learned. I learned that feeling empowered is a choice of perspective. I used to blame my lack of productivity on my boss or my busy schedule. This chapter taught me that by reclaiming my agency, I reclaim my energy. I've started using the language of choice. Instead of saying, I have to do this, I say, I choose to do this because it aligns with my goal of X. This small linguistic shift moves me from a state of learned helplessness to a state of personal power. Moving forward with our deep dive into the next phase of Ali Abdaal's Feel-Good Productivity. This section focuses on the external environment, the people we work with, and the internal mental frameworks that stop us from getting started. Chapter 3, People. In this chapter, Ali explores the concept of relational energy. While productivity is often portrayed as a solitary pursuit of deep work in a quiet room, Ali argues that we are fundamentally social creatures. The people around us can either be energy vampires, who drain our motivation, or energy radiators, who amplify it. The science of relational energy, Ali references research on high-quality connections, HQCs. Even a short 10-minute interaction with a supportive colleague can boost your heart rate and cognitive function. When we feel supported, our brains release oxytocin, which counteracts the stress hormone cortisol. This creates a physiological environment where we can think more clearly and work more efficiently. Strategies for social productivity. 1. The protege effect. One of the best ways to feel productive is to teach what you are learning. When you explain a concept to someone else, you reinforce your own understanding and gain a sense of contribution. 2. Body doubling. This is a popular technique in the ADHD community that Ali highlights for everyone. Simply having someone else in the room or on a video call while you work, even if you aren't working on the same thing, creates a social glue that keeps you focused. 3. The helper's high. Generosity is a productivity hack. By taking 5 minutes to help a colleague, you trigger a sense of competence and social value that gives you a win to carry into your own tasks. What I have learned. I learned that I've been treating my social life and my work life as two separate entities, often sacrificing the former for the latter. Ali taught me that this is a mistake. By integrating people into my workflow, whether through a study group or a co-working session, I'm not distracting myself, I'm refueling. I've started reaching out to friends for deep work sessions, and I've found that the mere presence of another person makes me less likely to pick up my phone and scroll. Chapter 4, Clarity. This chapter moves into the unblocking phase of the book. Ali notes that the primary reason we procrastinate is not laziness, but ambiguity. When a task is foggy, the brain's amygdala perceives it as a threat and triggers an avoidance response. The fog of ambiguity. If your to-do list says work on project X, your brain doesn't know what to do. Does that mean research, drafting, emailing? Because the next step isn't clear, you feel a sense of resistance. The NICE goal framework. Ali introduces an alternative to the traditional SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound. While SMART goals are good for business, they can feel clinical and stressful. Instead, he proposes NICE goals. Near term, focus on what you can do today or this week. Input-based, focus on the process, writing for 30 minutes, rather than the outcome, finishing a book. Controllable, ensure the goal is 100% within your power. Energizing, frame the goal in a way that makes you want to do it. Defining the commander's intent. Ali uses a military concept called commander's intent. In the heat of battle, original plans often fail. However, if every soldier knows the intent, e.g., take that hill, they can adapt. In productivity, if you know the why and the ultimate end state of a task, you can find your way through the bow even when things go wrong. What I have learned. The most profound lesson here for me was the shift from outcome to input. I used to get paralyzed by the thought of writing a 1,500-word chapter. Now I set a NICE goal. Sit at the computer and type for 20 minutes. Because the input is controllable and near term, the fog disappears. I've realized that clarity is a gift you give to your future self. By breaking down a project into its atomic next step the night before, I remove the friction of starting the next morning. Chapter 5. Courage. Even with play, power, and clarity, we often hit a wall. Fear. Ali identifies that many of us are stuck because we are afraid of being judged, afraid of failing, or even afraid that we aren't good enough to succeed. Understanding the fear architecture. Ali explains that fear is a survival mechanism. However, in the modern world, our brains treat a mean comment on social media with the same intensity as a saber-toothed tiger. To get past this, we must lower our physiological sensitivity to fear. The courage tools. The 10-10-10 rule. Ask yourself, will this matter in 10 minutes, 10 months, 10 years? This puts our temporary anxieties into a long-term perspective. 2. The spotlight effect. We think everyone is watching us and judging our failures. In reality, everyone else is too busy worrying about themselves to notice us. Realizing this is incredibly liberating. 3. The Batman effect. This involves creating an alter ego. If regular you is too scared to give a presentation, imagine a version of yourself, a public speaking pro, and step into that character. It creates a psychological buffer between your ego and the task. What I learned that courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to act alongside it. I've started labeling my fears. Instead of saying, I can't do this, I say, I am feeling a sensation of anxiety in my chest because I care about this project. By externalizing the emotion, it loses its grip on me. The spotlight effect was a huge wake-up call. I realized that I was holding back on my creative work because of imaginary critics who don't actually exist. This completes phase 2 of our deep dive. We have now covered the energize and unblock sections of the book. Moving into phase 3, we shift from the starting phase to the sustaining phase. In these chapters, Ali Abdaal addresses how to maintain momentum without crashing. This is the sustain portion of Feel Good Productivity. Chapter 6, Discipline. Many people think discipline is about being a drill sergeant to yourself. Ali argues the opposite. True discipline is about consistent kindness. If you are too harsh on yourself when you fail, you create a negative emotional association with work, which leads to more procrastination. The myth of willpower. Willpower is a finite resource. If you rely on it to get through the day, you will eventually run out. Ali suggests that instead of using willpower to force yourself to work, you should use it to design your environment so that work becomes the path of least resistance. The discipline strategies. 1. Friction reduction. If you want to work out in the morning, lay your clothes out the night before. If you want to stop checking your phone, put it in another room. Small bits of friction determine our behavior more than our intentions. 2. The just 5 minutes rule. Tell yourself you will only do the task for 5 minutes. Often, the hardest part is the activation energy required to start. Once you've started, the Zeigarnik effect kicks in. Our brains have a natural desire to finish what we've started. 3. Track the inputs, not the outputs. Don't track how many pounds you lost. Track how many days you went to the gym. By focusing on the streak, you build an identity as someone who shows up. What I have learned. I learned that my lack of discipline was actually just a poorly designed environment. I used to keep my phone on my desk and wonder why I got distracted. Now I use the 20-second rule. I make sure my distractions are at least 20 seconds away, locked in a drawer, and my tools, my laptop or book, are immediately available. I've also stopped beating myself up for bad days. Consistent kindness means acknowledging a slip-up and simply starting the next 5-minute block. Chapter 7, Conserve. This is where Ali tackles the hustle culture head-on. To be productive in the long run, you must learn to conserve your energy. Productivity is a marathon, not a sprint. If you burn all your fuel in the first mile, you'll never finish. The 4 stages of burnout. Ali describes how burnout doesn't happen overnight. It starts with a compulsion to prove oneself and moves through stages of neglecting needs and inner emptiness. To prevent this, you must build fences around your time. The conservation tools. 1. The power of no. Every time you say yes to something unimportant, you are saying no to something important. Ali suggests using the hell yeah or no rule. If an opportunity doesn't make you say, hell yeah, say no. 2. Energy auditing. Track your energy levels throughout the day for a week. Are you a morning person or a night owl? Schedule your most difficult deep work for your peak energy times and leave the admin for when you're tired. 3. Active recovery. Passive recovery, scrolling TikTok, often leaves us feeling more drained. Active recovery, walking, hobbies, creative play, actually puts energy back into our system. What I have learned. I realized that doing nothing is a productive act. I used to feel guilty for taking breaks, thinking I was wasting time. Ali taught me that rest is a biological necessity for high performance. I've started energy auditing my tasks. I realized that checking emails at 9 o'clock a.m. was draining my best brain power, so I've moved that to 4 o'clock when my energy naturally dips. Chapter 8, Recharge. While conserve is about not wasting energy, recharge is about how to actively fill your own or tank back up. This chapter focuses on the importance of high-quality rest. The science of deep rest. Ali discusses the default mode network, DMN, of the brain. When we aren't focusing on a specific task, our DMN kicks in, which is where our most creative aha moments happen. If we are always busy, our DMN never has a chance to solve our problems in the background. Recharge strategies. 1. The sanctuary. Create a physical space where work is forbidden. This helps your brain switch off the work mode when you enter that space. 2. Nature and the attention restoration theory. Being in nature, or even looking at it, helps restore our directed attention, which gets fatigued by screens and urban environments. 3. The 3-2-1 rule for sleep. No food 3 hours before bed, no work 2 hours before bed, and no screens 1 hour before bed. High-quality sleep is the ultimate productivity hack. What I have learned. I learned that the quality of my work is directly proportional to the quality of my rest. I've implemented the sanctuary rule in my bedroom. No laptops allowed. This has significantly improved my sleep and consequently my focus the next morning. I also learned that I don't need to feel guilty for mind wandering. Sometimes the best solution to a work problem comes when I'm out for a walk, not when I'm staring at the screen. Chapter 9, Align. The final chapter is the North Star of the book. Ali argues that you can be the most productive person in the world, but if you are climbing the wrong ladder, it doesn't matter how fast you go. The Odyssey Plan. Ali borrows a concept from Stanford's Designing Your Life course. He suggests mapping out 3 different 5-year versions of your life. 1. Life A, the path you are currently on. 2. Life B, what you would do if Life A was no longer an option. 3. Life C, what you would do if money and social status didn't matter. Values versus goals. Goals are destination-based, e.g., I want to earn 100K. Values are direction-based, e.g., I want to be a person who helps others. Goals can be reached and then leave you feeling empty. Values provide a lifelong compass, what I have learned. This chapter made me pause and reflect on why I want to be productive. I realized I was chasing certain goals just because society said I should. By doing the Odyssey Plan, I discovered that my Life C, the dream life, actually involved a lot more creativity and teaching than my current Life A. This alignment has helped me say no to tasks that don't fit my long-term values, making my productivity feel meaningful rather than just busy. Thank you so much for joining me for this hour-long deep dive into Ali Abdaal's Feel Good Productivity. We've covered everything from finding joy in the play phase to the deep soul-searching of the align phase. Remember, productivity isn't about doing more things. It's about doing more of the things that matter while feeling good in the process. Happiness is your fuel, not your finish line. Master summary recap. To wrap everything up, here is the ultimate takeaway from each section. Section core strategy. The feel-good secret. Energize play, power people, treat work as a game and choose your teammates wisely. Unblock clarity, courage, discipline. Define the next step and act with consistent kindness. Sustain conserve, recharge, align. Protect your energy and ensure you're climbing the right ladder. I really hope this chapter-by-chapter breakdown has given you the tools to transform your workday and your life. A huge favor before you go. If this summary provided value to you, or helped you understand these concepts better, please like this video/post, share it with someone who is struggling with burnout, and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss a notification when we drop our next deep dive into life-changing books. Thank you for listening. Your support means the world and helps this channel grow so we can keep bringing you this level of detail. Subscribe, share, and hit that bell icon. Stay productive, stay happy, and I'll see you in the next one.